So today we're going to be watching this video together titled, Were These Images Even Real? And it just talks about these famous internet images and if they were real or not, or they were faked. And I haven't seen it yet, so it's going to be a first time reaction, and I'm very interested in this. So let's just begin the video.
Charlie No Face.
Okay, I'm just going to stop the video right there. Years ago, back in 2018, me and Zepp went up to the Green Man's Tunnel, which is actually where I live. This whole story took place in the state that I live in, Pennsylvania. And we went up there to do a video for the Blake and Zepp show. I put it up on the screen right now. You guys can go watch it. And we pretty much faked the whole I'm just going to come out and say I don't care. The whole video was fake. We wrote stuff in chalk on the side of the tunnel and stuff. There's a ton of graffiti there. And one of the biggest mysteries of that tunnel is how on earth was there graffiti up on that ceiling of the tunnel? How did it get up there? I genuinely do not know that. But people are crazy. They'll do anything for a laugh. But that's one of the biggest mysteries of how graffiti got up on the ceiling of the tunnel. But we wrote stuff on the side of the tunnel before the video, and we played it off as, ooh, a ghost wrote it to get us out of the tunnel before it hurts us and stuff. So yeah, again, that was at the time when I believed in ghosts, and I believed in Mo Sargi's videos, and I thought that ghosts were real and stuff like that. But as I got older, no. But yeah, it's a good video to watch, nonetheless, even though it's fake, of course, and I don't think anyone believed it for a second, but you never know. I would go check it out, but let's continue with this video.
All throughout the rest of his childhood and well into his adult years, Raymond loved listening to the radio during the day and going on long walks along Route 351 at night, sometimes for hours at a time. When rumors started spreading in Beaver County about a man without a face walking the streets of Pennsylvania in the dead of night, the locals did everything they could to catch a glimpse of him. Even though he mostly avoided contact with strangers out of fear of scaring people, they always ended up finding him. Although most of the locals were just curious to meet him and make friends with him, others abused him pretty brutally for no reason, sometimes offering him rides and dropping him off far away from home, hitting him with their cars, and even physically beating him.
That's just cruel. That's just evil to do, honestly, to someone who's, disabled like that.
An urban legend quickly grew around him while he was still alive, which earned him the nicknames Charlie No Face and Green Man. According to the legend, Charlie No Face was a sort of ghoul or boogeyman who walked the streets of Pennsylvania at night, looking to terrorize anyone who crossed paths with him.
And another thing, too, is people would make any story up from any incident, no matter how tragic it was, to, gain popularity and gain, people's attention around it, especially with internet nowadays. Back then, of course, internet wasn't around. People still made up stories about it, or Green Man will come hurt you, or don't go in the Green Man's tunnel, he'll kill you, or they're trying to paint Raymond as a bad person and stuff, and that's just awful to do.
A lot of people thought the images were fake, when in reality they were 100% real, only the legend behind them wasn't.
So yeah, to answer any of your questions, of course, the urban legends are not real. He's not a ghost, he's not a demon, he's just a guy who sadly got injured from an electric incident, and then he fortunately lived, but then he had to go for the rest of his life blind. And then I think he died in 1985, but still people were making up stories to this day and still living by that urban legend and stuff. And I'm pretty sure people believe that urban legend is real and stuff like that, which is crazy in my opinion. But let's move on to the next story.
The Amityville Ghost Boy.
To give you a backstory, so this guy, I think 1974, yeah, killed his entire family, and people, of course, make up theories. He was possessed by a demon, he was possessed by a ghost, he was this, he was that. No, the dude is just psycho who killed his whole family, sadly. And one of the mysterious thing, though, is, no one moved from their bed after hearing the gunshots. He killed, the first couple people in their beds while they slept. But then the other people in the different bedrooms didn't move. And they were just kind of, laying there when I guess he shot them again with the shotgun or rifle. So that's very mysterious. But I just think that he maybe, drugged them that night. So they were in some catatonic state, or they were in a deep sleep or something. so they didn't hear the gunshots.
In December 1975, George and Kathy Lutz moved into their new home at 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. The last family who lived at 112 Ocean Avenue had been violently murdered. Despite the home's history, the Lutzes were thrilled to be moving in. But their joy was short-lived, for less than a month later they abruptly left the home with all their belongings inside and never returned, claiming that the house was haunted by evil spirits. When asked about what happened at the house, George mentioned that ever since they moved in, they had been consumed by intense mood swings and dark emotional episodes where he would start to feel an intense sense of hatred towards his family. The family also alleged that they had seen a mysterious green slime oozing down from some of the walls at random times throughout the day. One night when he was standing on the front lawn, he saw a half-man, half-pig creature with red eyes staring down at him from one of the upstairs windows.
Okay, lock this guy up. He's clearly insane. He's clearly wacko. Yeah, half pig, half man with red glowing eyes. It's clearly a demon trying to eat my soul in the middle of the night.
In 1952, Ed and Lorraine Warren founded the New England Society for Psychic Research. For 50 years, the couple ran a well-known paranormal investigations operation, with several of the cases they investigated serving as the inspiration for movies such as Annabelle and The Haunting in Connecticut. The Warrens conducted an investigation of the house, during which they alleged that all kinds of creepy things happened to them, none of which were caught on camera.
Oh, how convenient. None of it was caught on camera. Round of applause, everybody. None of it was caught on camera, but I want you to believe it.
Though, during the investigation, Ed and Lorraine captured a photo of what appears to be a child with creepy, glowing eyes poking his head out of the basement door, which you've very likely seen before, as it's gone on to become one of recent history's most infamously creepy photos since it was captured back in 1976.
Okay, now I will hand it to them. That photo is very creepy and chilling and unnerving, because if I saw that, I would be genuinely afraid, but of course, it's fake. It's a staged photo, and they just played it off as, oh, it's a ghost in my house where this whole family was murdered a year prior.
Although the Warrens and their fans promoted the theory that the boy in the image was the spirit of John DeFeo, who was around the same age as the boy in the creepy picture at the time his brother murdered him, the reality is a lot less dark and exciting. During their investigation, the Warrens were assisted by Paul Bartz, another investigator, and if you look at some of the pictures of Bartz from that night, you'll notice he was wearing a plaid shirt, very similar to the one worn by the supposed ghost boy. As it was later discovered, despite the Warrens' claims, the boy in the picture was not actually a boy at all, but Paul Bartz kneeling on the floor and taking some measurements. The creepy glare of his eyes was caused by the reflection of his glasses, and not by some strange demonic force as the Warrens claimed in later interviews. As of 2024, much, if not all, of the alleged haunting that took place at the house on Ocean Avenue in 1975 has been debunked. In fact, in the public view, many people remember Ed and Lorraine Warren as charlatans and scammers who did some pretty messed up stuff at the height of their power. That, along with the photo being proved as a setup, is almost conclusive evidence that nothing was really going on here, and everything claimed to have happened was a straight-up lie. Since the Lutzes left in early 1976, the house has been sold 4 times, and not a single one of the new buyers has complained about any kind of paranormal activity at 112 Ocean Avenue.
Oh, who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Oh man, who would have guessed that none of it was real and it was just some psycho guy who killed his entire family? Oh, who would have guessed? You know, it still cracks me up that people think like that place is haunted and stuff and it was some like demonic power that made the guy kill his whole family. That just makes me laugh. Alright, let's move to the next story.
Cooper family falling body. This image of a happy family sitting around a dinner table while a dark, creepy shadow in what appears to be some sort of dress hanging upside down over the centerpiece has been reposted all over the internet for the past decade, often as part of collections like Top 10 Unexplained Disturbing Photos. According to the family, the strange figure had not been present at the time the picture was taken, otherwise they definitely would have noticed it. As the story goes, they were never able to find out who or what had invaded their beautiful family portrait. Some sources claim that one of the chemists developing the film threw a negative from a separate photo of the famous ballerina Margot Fontaine over the original
that's
and played with the
always
exposure
possible.
to get a creepy effect and play a prank on the family. At least, that's the story you'll find in the videos that feature the infamous photo. However, through my research, I was able to find that the entire story is completely fake.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but who would have guessed?
Pretty much from start to finish, the story of the Cooper family is completely made up, and it's very likely that the image itself was digitally altered in Photoshop or some other editing software. From what I found, the first time the photograph was posted online was back in 2009 when a user named Sam Cohen uploaded it under the title Family Gathering to a site called Ligotti.net, a fan website for the famous horror writer Thomas Ligotti. Interestingly, Sam Cohen categorized the photograph as art, which suggests the picture was digitally fabricated as part of some sort of art project.
And right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why you shouldn't believe everything you see on the internet without good, solid evidence to back it up. And the thing that makes me mad the most is YouTubers like MoSargi, Aldo's World, and Oh My Gosh TV make a living off of lying to their audience. That's what makes me mad the most. And I really haven't seen any video. I've only seen a handful of videos out on the internet of people actually criticizing and exposing these fake ghost hunters. Another thing that makes me mad too is that these images online, they spread like wildfire. Understandably, of course. I mean, some of these images look creepy as heck. But I mean, like, and people just come up with the most randomest and outrageous stories to go along with it. Like, there's a ghost hanging from the ceiling, or there's a ghost from a dead child who was murdered in that house, the Amityville horror house. Like, bro, like, where do people come up with this stuff? And then it turns out at the end, it's all fake, it's all staged, it's all CGI, it's all planned out before. It just makes me so angry that people keep getting away with this for years, decades, and that, like, people get famous off of lying to their fans. Just... Sorry, man, I just had to go on a little rant there, forgive me, but let's continue on with the video.
It's possible that the photograph of the family was taken back in the 50s, and that someone digitally superimposed a shadow on the image several decades later as a part of an art project, but there's also a possibility that the photograph of the family is fake as well. It's unknown if Sam Cohen was the original creator of the image, but a few months later, user Xavier Ortega posted it to the site Ghost Theory as a part of a gallery he titled Retro Creeps: Scary Portraits from the Past. Most people assumed the story behind it was real, but all the evidence suggests that the image was digitally altered using Photoshop, and people just wrote a credible story to go along with it. Still, for all the information we have that points to the fact that the image is totally fake, it's likely that Family Gathering will continue to be a big hit in the online horror community for many years to come.
Alright, so that was the end of that video, and no surprise, all those images were fake, CGI, Photoshopped, or staged. And like I said, it just goes to show you, don't believe everything you see on the internet, because there's most likely some backstory to debunk it. Or, again, it could be true, but again, these four famous images, these are famous images, by the way, that have many stories and many urban legends attached to it that people still believe to this day, that are in the end just fake, of course. But yeah, what do you think of these images? What do you think of these videos? Do you believe in ghosts? Because I personally do not. I used to, like I said, but I no longer believe in them. But comment down below, guys. I love you. See you in the next one.